Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's DIY guy here. Hey, so today, fall right around the corner, I figured I would show you guys my spin on a K-cup holder, something I like to do. It's real simple, and I figured I'd let you guys have the option to put one together yourself. It's really simple. Gonna do a couple pieces of scrap here. At a 8-foot cedar picket, you can get about 4 of these things, and then you can usually get about 20 bucks a piece at market for them. So you can turn one picket into about roughly 80 bucks, 100 bucks, right around there. So it's up to you guys. So here's my spin on it, and hope you enjoy it. Okay, so a couple things we're gonna need to do this is we're gonna need a 1 3/4 hole saw, and then we're gonna need a pencil, tape, and a few pieces of scrap. Now, I do have these scrap. You're gonna need them at least 8 inches to 10 inches long a piece. What I kind of figured for was about 20 inches of board. You know, you can get about 4 of those out of 1 cedar picket. And we'll get started. So now before we start cutting anything down or anything, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this sander and get these things nice and smooth. That way we don't have to sand a whole bunch of pieces. We can just hit them a couple at a time real quick and get it all done at once. So what I'm gonna use here is I'm gonna grab my sander and some 150 and get it knocked out real fast. All right, now that we got the dirty part out of the way, now we want to do is we want to get one of these ripped down to 4 inches and one of these ripped down to 2.5 inches. 2 pieces at 2.5. So the one at 4, we want to look for the straightest piece. It's going to be this one. We're going to rip this one down to 4, and then we're going to rip this down to 2.5, but we want a 45 on one side of the 2.5. So let's get this ripped down, which I already got my saw set up here. 2.5 at 45. So then we'll go the 2.5 45, then we'll turn it straight and hit it. And our end product should look something about like that. Now for this one, we're gonna rip it down to 4 inches. And while we're there, we went ahead and made our blocks, 2 4-inch squares. All right, now we're gonna go over to the miter saw and get these cut. Hey you guys, sorry about that. I got a little bit ahead of myself. Welcome over here to the miter saw. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna move our miter saw over to 22.5 degrees, okay? So we got our 2 boards over here. Now what we wanna do is we wanna lay our board down like this with our angle facing in towards the saw. And then we wanna cut right to the corner of the board, that 22.5 degree angle. And then we wanna flip it around and we wanna cut that same angle, all right? Now we need the exact opposite cut. So what we wanna do, since we had our angle facing up, is we want to take the next board with our angle facing down, but yet still into our fence, and then do that same exact cut. And then, now that we did that, we want to flip it around with our angle facing down still. That way when we put it together, we're gonna come out and we're gonna look like this right here. So we can have a nice pretty lean to it when we set it on the board here in just a minute. Okay, so now we got our angles cut, everything looks good. And we should have a finished product that looks just about like that right there. And then we'll put some more cuts on it here in just a minute and I'll meet y'all back over to the table. Okay guys, welcome back to the table. So now what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna take this thing and go ahead and put some glue here and throw a couple staples in it and get it put together. So let's get that going. Or I'm sorry, a couple brad nails, not staples. Not a whole lot of glue, just a wee bit. All right. Looking sharp. All right, so after we do that, we're gonna run back over here to our saw and get our nice cuts for these ends to go on it, and I'll show you why. So I'll meet you back over at the saw. All right, so now we're back here over the saw. What we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna turn this back to 0. Okay, now we're gonna wanna take our miter saw, and then we're gonna want to move this over to about 22-ish, and then take it down. And we're gonna match the angle up with our wood as good as we can. And you'll see it line up. That's about 25. Let's go back up just a hair. I think we're there. Yeah, all right. So now that we got that there, what we want to do is kind of just shave it off to where it's flush. And take a little bit off at a time, just a little bit off at a time. Now you always want to start it with the top. Okay, so now that we got a nice smooth top, now we want to work with the bottom, okay? Because the bottom we're going to have to go from this way, and we're actually going to measure the bottom. We want to take the bottom and measure from here to here 7 inches. So from there to there, 7 inches, and make our mark. And that's where we want to cut. And there you go. All right. Now I'll see you guys back at the table. All right, so now that we're back over here at the table, you can kind of see how this is gonna go together. Pretty sleek and simple. But before we put this all together and make it all fancy, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and measure down and get our holes cut for our K-cups. So let's grab our tape and our pencil, wherever that went, because you know I lose that all the time. One of those getting old kind of things. Huh? What we'll do here is we're gonna go on the side and we're gonna measure down, find our center. 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4. Flip it around. Make sure we're right. We are right there. Now what I like to do when I do these is I like to drill the center one first and just kind of see where we're at, because the hole's quite big. Of course, we're going to pull from side to side and find our center at 1 3/4 since we're at 2 1/2. And then the same thing on the other side. Anyways, I was saying, drill your center one first, see where you're at, because 1 3/4 is quite a big hole. And you can kind of judge where you want to put your other two, but these other two kind of give you a reference. And why I like to use this right here, as opposed to like a Forstner bit or anything, is because I drill from one side and then I have a hole from this side and I go from this side. That way I can make 2 clean holes. So let's kind of demonstrate that real fast. As you see, I'm not in any rush. You just kind of get it started right there, and then you can go around from the other side and do the same thing. There you have it. You got a hole with 2 clean edges. There you go. Now we're going to drill the top and the last one. All right, now let's hit it with a little bit of sandpaper. I'll just clean up the area a little bit, and we'll get this all put together. All right, let's get set up for stain. All right, so today's stain, we chose a special walnut 224 from Minwax. I've been really enjoying this color right here. It's kind of a neutral color. It's not real dark, but it puts a nice nice kind of finish on the natural grain of this wood. It makes it kind of pop. So I've been kind of enjoying this stain. So let's get this on here and show you guys what I'm talking about. One thing I noticed about this stain is you gotta like glob it on there. It's kind of like an acid stain. I've used it on a lot of woods. I haven't used it on cedar yet. It's not really favoring cedar all that much, but it does look all right. It makes it kind of look old, kind of beat up. Which I like that look in wood. I like old antique barn wood. Let's give this one another wash.
In the storm, I will worship you, Lord. For I know that in you there is truth.
Well, where can we put something on this sucker? Little tap tap.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
And I think that'll call it on the old stain, huh? Well, now we'll construct it. Put a little bit of glue on the bottom of that thing. Grab this old brad nailer and get the bottom on it real quick.
You can call me a bastard if you like. I'll be locking up my door. And you can't walk.
And get your top on it.
I'll be putting on my war paint. I have a will to stay alive. And now I'll be taking my leave.
Got one shiner we gotta get taken out here.
You're fired.
See if we can get it out. Happens every now and again, but that's all right. Okay. I think she'll work. Oop. Let's get some finish on it first. How about that? Make it look pretty. Some of this lacquer finish for dummies. Alright, well, now that's had some time to dry, there you have it. It's my spin on a little K-cup holder, and if you ain't tried any of that Hawaiian Paradise Vanilla Macadamia Nut Coffee, hey, that's where it's at. I want to pin that in the comments. Or, I'm sorry, not in the comments, but my description. That's some good coffee right there, but as you can see, that's a perfect size little K-cup holder for, say, tight spots like a college dorm or maybe your office desk, something like that. Just my take on it. So hopefully you like what I did. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And if you want to build something like it, maybe something bigger to hold a little bit more, hey, whatever you want to do, build your spin on it. But that's what I like to do right there. Like I said, you can build about four of those out of one cedar picket. And hey, options are unlimited with that design right there. So enjoy. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day. And here comes the fall. Pumpkin spice time.